Final day of practice, and we flagged down. We got us a local now. We got Travis Fox. Thanks for stopping by, dude.
You bet.
A lot of what we've heard so far this week is guys talking about how fantastic the fishing has been on Beaver, you know, over the winter, what this dirty water and the higher water have done to it. But you've experienced. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's been, you know, everybody dogs Beaver Lake, and I do too, because it's Beaver Lake, you know, you never know. Usually it's shaky heads and this and that, and that'll catch them now, but this year we got a lot of rain in December and some historic floods, and it pushed a mud line in, and that water never left. It stayed muddy, so Beaver's a little bit dirtier than it normally is. It's cleared up a whole bunch in the past week, even the past couple days. But it's been phenomenal. I've never seen this lake this good. You know, I've been fishing out here, and it's been taking, you know, 15 pounds is 25th place in a 150 boat tournament. Wow. You know, I mean, and that doesn't get a check, by the way.
Wow.
So, you know, it's 17, 18, 19, some guys weighing in over 20-pound bags, but it's been pretty awesome. And I know there's some guys still catching them like that, and I expect for it to be probably a record year for us to ever be here, you know, just because of the conditions.
Has it, Beaver traditionally, when the tour stops here, usually, you know, we see a pretty good mix of spot, smallmouth, largemouth. Will this water, will this dirty water, will it skew that one way, and will we see more largemouth than we have before?
No, I think you'll still see, you know, normally there's a lot of spots weighed in. I think there's going to be a lot of spots caught, but I think a lot of them are going to get thrown back in the drain. I think if you're bringing in spots, you're not fishing for a check. Now, granted, I've caught some 3-pound plus spots, you know. I hope not to throw them back, but actually I hope I do.
Well, if you are, that's a good thing, yeah.
But, you know, I think that you're going to see a lot more blacks and smallmouth and some big spotted bass, but yeah, you'll see more blacks just because, you know, they carry the size. Sure. But there's some big magnum spots biting right now, and the smallmouth, you know, I've caught some 3- and 4-pound smallmouths lately. Okay.
So it really won't, the dynamic won't really change in that regard. It's just how the lake looks is really one of the biggest differences. Yeah,
you know, and the spotted bass and smallmouth, they're up there a little shallower and a little, you know, I caught a smallmouth off of a laydown, you know, a big smallmouth off a laydown. So who knows? They're up there, and they're very aggressive whenever this water gets this way. And I think everybody's just going to have a good time just going fishing.
Another thing we've seen in the past from Beaver Lake is, you know, we see a lot of shaky heads, kind of a lot more finesse type stuff. This time around, it seems like it's setting up for guys that maybe like to power fish a little more, could play like, I would guess just by looking at the lake, maybe a pretty good wigglewort bite.
Yeah, I mean, a wigglewort's an Ozark bait. Everybody knows Storm makes a wigglewort, and it's tough to beat it on any lake. It used to be, you know, kind of a secret here, but we take it all over the place now. But a wigglewort is going to catch a lot of fish this tournament. I don't know that it's going to win. But I think there was a 6-something. I heard it was in the paper or somewhere. It was caught on a wigglewort on Saturday. You know, that's what won the big bass tournament. So the big fish will bite it, but you know, I've caught an awful lot of great big ones on a shaky head too. So who knows? We don't. You never know. It's Beaver Lake, and it's bass fishing at its finest. You never know.
Well, I guess from your local standpoint, throw some numbers at me. I want to know what do you think we'll see for maybe the top 20 cut, and then maybe a winning weight.
Oh man, you're putting me on the spot because I want to think it's going to take a lot, but it never fails. You know, it's a little tougher. Today's been a lot tougher. I know some guys didn't do as good yesterday, but top 20 on the boater side, I would say you better be coming in with at least 15 a day. You know, maybe 14. No, I would say you better have 15 a day.
All right.
I don't think it's as good as it has been, but it's still not bad. And the quality of fish that are up, whenever you get a bite, is a good one. What do you want to win?
Winner.
Now, it's hard to catch 18 every day.
But is it doable?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. You're going to test out my math. I want to roll with 18. I want to roll with 65. I know that's not 18 times 4,
sure,
but
still the best. It'd be the best winning weight we've seen from Beaver.
Yeah, for sure. I think we've weighed in with some 56s here before.
Yep.
But
Christie won in 2013 was 61, I believe. That was with the A rig.
Yeah, and they're biting better than that now.
Wow,
it's pretty good.
Well, I gotta say, man, we'll let you get rolling, get back out. Last couple hours of practice here. Thanks for stopping by. Pretty optimistic report from Travis Fox. Thanks, man.
I hope I'm right. Thank you.
All right, guys, final day of practice here at Beaver Lake, and we've got Mr. Beaver Lake, Matt Arey here. Matt, I know you like this place. It's a little bit different now. Are you still liking it as much?
You know, I've listed this lake as my favorite lake since back in 2005 when I first started coming here as a co-angler. And yeah, I mean, I love the Ozark lakes. I love this area in general. It's got a lot to offer. It's so diverse. And like you said, once again, it's a different lake this year. Every single time we come here, it's a different fishery. There's a lot of different things going on. The water clarity, you know, the weather. There's a lot of things changing. It's April, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting this year.
All right, you're just coming off a really good finish in the Costa FLW series at Grand, and there you were catching some spawning fish that you couldn't see, and it seemed like, as far as the tournament went, there were a lot of fish either real close to getting on beds or getting on beds. What's it look like over here at Beaver?
It's a mix. It's you know, I like fishing that one because it's a good primer for this event. It's close. It's the same region, same area. So typically the fish are somewhat in similar stages. A lot of the same things going on here. I think it's more of a pre-spawn spawn. Last year we saw more of a spawn post-spawn deal. So yeah, I mean, it was great to get over there and experience that and have a good event. Get a little momentum coming over this way, and like I said, it's fishing very similar, especially with the stained water.
Yeah, for sure. Now, it was pretty cold today actually, and I think supposed to warm up pretty consistently throughout the tournament. I guess, do you feel like if it's pre-spawn spawn now, is it going to be more full-on spawn come tournament time? Do you think fish will move like that? What's your projection?
They can. I mean, I've witnessed it even around the house, you know, massive waves of fish moving up overnight. We are supposed to have a lot of sun and some warmer nights coming up throughout the event. So yeah, things are going to change. A lot of the lake is still in that pre-spawn stage. There are a lot of spawning fish, especially on the lower third of the lake, but the problem with that is it's going to fish really small. You know, there's not a lot of clear water to go around. So as far as the sight fishing goes, you may see a lot of guys doing it the first day. I don't think it's going to last 3 or 4 days. And there again, the stained water, I think a lot of the fish are in that same spawning phase, but there again, you can't visually see them. So you're just going to have to blind fish for them.
Which, I mean, you've done in the past. When you won here your first time, you were catching some fish on the final day that you said were probably spawning.
I think based on how they were set up, I think they were. The majority of the fish throughout that event that I was able to catch were definitely pre-spawn fish.
All right. I guess Beaver Lake, it's always a little bit of a challenge to sort of adapt each day. Do you feel like there's going to be anything strong enough out there that someone can run the same thing the whole tournament, or is it going to be a game of adjustments?
Based on the weather, I think it's going to be a game of adjustments. There's a lot of different patterns going on out there, and the thing about Beaver is it is a great pattern. Like you've heard me say that many times, and a lot of the guys that do well here can typically run a pattern and duplicate it throughout the lake. You know, Andy and Brian and Dudley and Rose and some of those guys that always catch them here. But you know, with the way it's shaping up, I do think a guy could get on a strong pre-spawn deal and run it all 4 days. You know, my plan's to mix it up. I'm gonna do a little bit of everything. Hopefully it works out, but you know, if it doesn't, I've got some fallback stuff too. So to answer your question, yeah, I do think a guy could get on the spawn and bite. Like I said, I don't think it'll last for 4 days, but the pre-spawn deal for sure.
Okay, Beaver Lake's been really good to you. How how good is it going to be to everyone this week? Do you really feel like it's fishing significantly better than it has in the past, or are you not quite seeing that?
Well, you know, you always hear every year we come here, the locals are smashing them in the wintertime. They're smashing them pre-spawn.
Yep.
And the same thing happens every single year we come here. The fish start moving, they start scattering, they start setting up the spawn. You've got a mix of fish.
Yeah.
So not only that, but on top of that, you got 170 pros out there beating on them for 3 days. Guys don't realize the impact that that has on this lake. And Beaver, yeah, it's a pretty good sized lake, but when you get a bunch of pros out there,
yep.
they got 3 days of practice. A lot of the guys figure out the same deal, and they're running around, so there's just not enough fish to go around. So I think it's going to be weight-wise typical Beaver. You may see it a touch heavier just because it's a pre-spawn deal.
Okay, cool. Well, I like the sound of that, and man, I know you're super dialed in and ready to go this week, and hopefully to try and make it 3 in a row, which would be unheard of, and I wish you the best of luck in it.
Thank you, Jody.
All right, guys, final day of practice at Beaver Lake, and we're closing things out with Shawn Gordon. Shawn, you're fishing on the Living the Dream package this year. You're from Arkansas. You've been here a couple times in the fall, but you don't necessarily have a ton of experience here. I guess when you came here, what were you expecting to see?
I was expecting to see a lot clearer water. I didn't realize the lake would have this much color this far down, and I've never seen it other than being crystal clear in the fall.
Yeah,
and it's
right.
usually about 6 or 8 feet lower.
Okay. I guess, what was when you got here, you sort of saw it, what it looked like. You saw the watercolor. What was your strategy then? What did you look to go out and do in practice?
Well, I was hoping I could go throw a wiggle wart all day.
Okay.
And the first 2 days of practice, when the wind blew, you could do that, but you'd have to just weed through a bunch of small ones just to catch a keeper. Today was a little bit different. Didn't catch very many cranking. Most of them came on slow baits, on a jig and a shaky head.
All right. Have you kind of covered the whole lake? Obviously, you've been here before. You've got a little familiarity with it, or are you kind of concentrating in any particular section?
I've been a pretty good ways down the lake or towards the dam, and then I've been up both rivers as far as you could go almost. Okay.
You're kind of a more rivery kind of guy, a little dirty water kind of guy, right?
I would prefer to be in the river.
All right. Do you think, I've heard that it's maybe a little more crowded up there than it is in some years. Do you feel like if you do choose to go up there, you're going to have enough of it to yourself that you can sustain a few days up there, or do you think it's a situation where it's going to get a little bit beat up?
You know, I think it'll get beat up, but I don't know what to expect. Never being here in the spring, I don't know how many guys will go up the river versus down the lake. I know there's some bedding fish down the lake. I saw a couple the day I was down there, and probably should have gone back and looked for more today.
If you had one more day of practice, what would you do? Would you go back down the lake and go looking, or something else?
I would go down the lake and go looking.
Okay. As far as that down the lake section, and I guess what you did see down there, did you see some good quality, or was it just sort of a quantity type situation of fish showing up on beds?
Probably. I mean, I didn't see but a handful on beds, and a couple I did see about 3+ pounders. Caught a couple decent smallmouth down there, and a couple real nice walleye that I knocked the sides off of.
I believe you. That's probably a good move. What's your favorite way to prepare a walleye?
Fried.
Okay.
I don't know any other way. I'm from Arkansas.
Well, there you go. All right. Well, Shawn, I guess if you had to sort of project how this tournament goes, what do you think a good bag turns out to be in this event? Because you've seen it over a couple days now. I'm sure you've looked at past, history here. What's your feeling?
I don't really know. I mean, 13, 14 pounds a day would probably get you a pretty long ways. I don't know that that'll win it, but.
All right. Well, I like it. Well, Shawn, thanks for stopping by, and man, good luck when it's game day.
Thank you.